What's up guys, it's Fight Nerd and I'm back with another video. If you like the content, please hit the like button, share, subscribe to my channel. It always keeps me motivated to keep bringing these videos. However, man, it's been a long time for me since I've done any boxing videos. But I had to speak on this Stevenson match against Stevenson De Los Santos. There's a lot of negative controversy surrounding this match. A lot of boxing fans, boxing media were very disappointed in Stevenson's performance. Stevenson, I'm a big supporter of his. I've been for a long time. I've been following his career since he turned pro. I like the youngster. He's competitive. His skill is he's a skilled boxer. Very defensive. Doesn't make very many mistakes. Just a well-rounded, very good boxer. Very good defensively responsible, and I don't know, like let's just get into this subject. I watched the fight against De Los Santos. I just feel like, it wasn't his best performance by any means. I don't feel I need to state the obvious. It was a bad performance. It's just not a good look for Stevenson at this point. He was fighting for the vacant belt against a guy with 16 wins, 14 knockouts. I'll be honest, I didn't know very much about De Los Santos. I know he fought Valenzuela, I think is his last name. I've watched a few of his fights, but I did see that fight. From the opening bell, the Shakur Stevenson Stevenson De Los Santos fight, it was just really evident that, in my opinion, De Los Santos is very athletic, fast, not easy to deal with. I think, man, let's just get into this. There's a lot of talk about Stevenson being one-handed. He had a shoulder injury, a hand injury. There's different stories surrounding this controversy. However, I was just shocked. I mean, let's take the factor of having the hurt arm. His left arm, excuse me, being hurt. I don't know if it was or wasn't. He didn't throw that left hand very much in the fight at all. I did see him throw it in clinches when De Los Santos would pressure him and try to engage him. And it was just a very lackluster performance, I think, by both fighters. You know, I understand Shakur Stevenson getting all the negative feedback, and deservingly so. You know, he's kind of held to a higher standard in this situation, and I understand that. I think De Los Santos respected Stevenson's skills. He did try to push the action as much as he could. There's so many things about this fight, man. So just going into the fight, I think I gave De Los Santos the first 3 or 4 rounds. I was really shocked, for one thing, by the commentary of Top Rank. I don't think they were giving De Los Santos any credit. I understand that Shakur is their guy, so I get that. But you know, they were basically saying Stevenson's winning all these rounds, and I had De Los Santos winning the first 3 or 4. Even some of them were very close, but I had to give it to him because he was pressing the action. I think as the fight went on, I think he started to get frustrated. He couldn't take the chances that he wanted to, De Los Santos, because, you know, he didn't want to make any mistakes. So yeah, there was a moment in the fight where it just, Stevenson was reacting to everything De Los Santos did. I was watching instances in the fight where De Los Santos was just fainting, not even really doing anything, just fainting, and Stevenson was just overreacting to everything. I had Stevenson pulling away after the 7th, the 5th, the 6th. Some of those rounds were very hard to score. You know, obviously Stevenson fought a very defensive fight. He used his jab. He basically just won the fight with his jab. You know, I heard something that this had the fewest punches thrown in a world title fight in history. That's not good, you know. I understand Stevenson being defensive minded. He's been like this before, where he just doesn't seem to like pressure or getting hit. No one does. I totally understand. No one wants to get hit. I get that. My problem with this performance with Stevenson is that you have to show versatility. You know, there's all these comparisons to him and Floyd. He had, you know, Andre Ward walking him out, Timothy Bradley, Floyd Mayweather. And I thought that was, like, really cool, you know, that they're showing this youngster a lot of love and support. Stevenson was not willing to engage. He was just reacting off of anything that De Los Santos did. De Los Santos tried in spots to push the action. There was times where, when he did try, you know, Stevenson would tie him up. De Los Santos had some moments in there where he tried to make it ugly in the clinches. I think De Los Santos should have done more of that. You're not gonna outbox him. You can't catch him. He didn't seem willing to engage. I think, as much as Stevenson is getting a lot of negative feedback, and deservingly so, it takes two to tango, and I mean, De Los Santos did try to push. He was the aggressor, so I give him a lot of the early rounds. He had a good jab himself. He was dangerous, and I think Stevenson knew that. And I don't know if he had a hurt hand, a hurt shoulder or not. But the impression that I got, without knowing any of the prior things about the hand, the shoulder, from the very first 10-15 seconds of the first round, the aggression that De Los Santos came out with, I think he might have felt some of the power talking about Stevenson, and he was in there to survive. But again, there was instances, as I was saying, there was instances where De Los Santos tried to be aggressive, tried to push the action. When he did, Stevenson would clinch right away, and there was a few instances in there where De Los Santos would try to make it ugly in the clinch, and you could see Stevenson looking at the ref, kind of like crying to the ref, like, hey man, it just, for me, as a Stevenson fan, that was not a good look, this was bad. I had to give Stevenson a lot of the rounds, the later rounds. I had him winning. I don't have my scorecard on hand right now, but I had him winning a lot of the later rounds. There was some rounds that I wanted so bad to give to De Los Santos, but he wasn't taking chances that he should have. He could have stole a lot of those later rounds that I had Stevenson winning. I wanted to give De Los Santos some of those later rounds so bad. I just couldn't, because Stevenson was controlling the distance and using his jab effectively, especially in the later rounds. It was, I think as much to De Los Santos is as much to blame as Stevenson. I do give De Los Santos the benefit of the doubt. He at least did try to push the action. So he in my eyes won the moral victory. He didn't win on points, but he got the moral victory. And so I'm gonna talk about Stevenson not liking to get hit, not liking the pressure. It's understandable, but he seems to only have this one gear. I'm hoping, that, because I forget the last guy he fought. He was a pressure fighter, and Stevenson basically employed the same strategy against this guy. He doesn't like pressure. That's understandable. He is who he is, but I was listening to his interview after the fight. He made some comments saying that, I watched Andre Ward get booed. He was basically saying he didn't care if people booed him. He did what he had to do. He went in there and got the win. And he wasn't, he didn't want credit. He was disappointed in his performance. I take my hat off to him for owning up to that. But he was making these comments that he watched Andre Ward get booed, Crawford, Mayweather. But to be fair, they got booed for different reasons. A lot of people say, "Oh, Floyd's a runner," and Floyd got a lot of negative feedback and hate in his career. But Floyd, he was versatile. He could do it all. He could, if he wanted to play that game to make you miss all night and just stay away from you, he could do that. If he wanted to use the high guard and walk you down, he could do that. He could fight in the clinch. If you tried to fight him dirty, he could do it all. Andre Ward was an inside fighter. He could do it all. Crawford, same thing. I almost put him on the level of Floyd, like pretty close. He could box you. He could make it a slugfest. He could do it all. And he made a comment. I don't know. Maybe he was confused, but that Floyd didn't have a good performance with Baldomir. I found that to be so out of touch with reality. I watched that fight. I followed Floyd's whole career. When he fought Carlos Baldomir, it looked like a bullfighter, a frustrated bull, trying to attack the bullfighter. Floyd did a masterful performance against Baldomir. Even in the fight with Castillo, I remember this fight clearly. I had Floyd winning by 2 rounds. It wasn't his best performance, and that's controversial. I understand that a lot of people have Castillo winning that fight. I get it. And I know that my opinion's going to be not popular. It's going to be controversial. But I have Floyd winning by 2 rounds. Wasn't his best performance, but I just don't feel like there's no comparison. These guys, Carlos Baldomir was a champion. Castillo was a heck of a fighter, very tough to deal with. De Los Santos, yeah, he has a lot of knockouts, but he's basically was an unknown guy. What I'm getting at here is that in order for Stevenson to be great, he has to show this versatility in his set of skills. I had Stevenson above. I'm gonna say this. I had him above Haney. I had him above Tank. Even though I know he wasn't proven, I understood that. And I'm saying he still had to prove himself. But that's just my belief that he was gonna be better than these guys. And at some point, he's still coming up, but his time's gonna come. He's gonna prove that he's better than all these guys. Now I'm thinking of him versus Haney is a lot closer than what I previously thought. If he were to fight Tank, I don't think he would. I favor Tank in that fight. Now Tank's another one of my favorites at the moment. He's not a young fighter, but he's one of my favorites at the moment. Haney, what can I say about Haney? He's another good fighter. I've watched a lot of his fights. Just the way he makes his moves in the sport of boxing, business-wise, and his career, he moves smart. Every move he's making is taking him to that next level. You have to respect that about Haney. So Stevenson, he has to show this versatility in his game. He only has this one gear so far. I mean, he's a very good boxer, very defensively responsible. I don't take anything away from him. Um, this was just not it. It wasn't a good look. Um, just the strategy that he employed in this fight bothered me. But I think the other thing that bothered me was when De Los Santos tried to be aggressive and he made it ugly in the clinch a few times. I feel like De Los Santos should have done a lot more of that. He should have done a lot more of that, and I think he might have pulled an upset had he done that. But like I said before, this wasn't a good performance by Stevenson by any means. But I think the all-around performance of both fighters was not good. I give De Los Santos the edge because he was trying to be aggressive, but he didn't do enough. If somebody is just beating you with movement and a jab, you're just as guilty. I was watching the commentary. They were basically not giving De Los Santos any round, and I was like, I can't believe this. I was really disappointed in the commentary of ESPN, Timothy Bradley. It was very disappointing. I'm glad that the judges were at least a little bit fair. They gave De Los Santos some credit. Like I said, there was some of those later rounds that I really wanted to give to De Los Santos, but I just couldn't. I think Stevenson's best round, I can't remember, I think it was the 9th round where he actually showed like a moment of aggression. Like one little moment of aggression. I'm not talking about in the clinch, when De Los Santos tried to come at him, he showed that moment of aggression. I gave him that round. But it was just a lackluster match, period. I think Navarrete and Hobson Conceição stole the show. I've never seen Hobson Conceição in a boring fight. Navarrete either. That was a great match. It was amazing to me because there was a round in, I think it was the 11th round or 10th round. Conceição was rocked so bad he had to be helped back to the corner, and I was thinking maybe they're gonna stop the fight. He comes out in the 12th round and won that round convincingly. And it's like, wow, man, my hat's off to Conceição. I hope he gets another opportunity. He's never been in a boring fight. Emmanuel Navarrete, I was expecting him to not dominate, but pull off the win. I had watched some of Hobson Conceição's fights before, and so I knew the type of opponent that Emmanuel Navarrete was facing. Just the whole matchup to me was interesting because Conceição is a great boxer. He uses his jab. He's just a good boxer, and we know Navarrete is very awkward. He throws power punches from awkward angles. His style is just very difficult to deal with. He's not the most technically sound. His footwork isn't always up to par as it should be, but you can't. Navarrete has to be who he's gonna be. That's what makes him who he is. He has a very fan-friendly style. He's not afraid to engage. He's aggressive from round 1 to round 12. I just love that fight. The undercards were definitely better than the main event. You had Floyd Diaz in there. I was really shocked to see Floyd Diaz. He looked vulnerable at moments, but his punch selection it was so good. He made his opponent pay for those mistakes, and it was just a good fight all around for Floyd Diaz, and I'm excited to see more of his fights in the future. Emmanuel Navarrete, I hope he can improve on some things. He's not very technically sound, but he is who he is, and that's what, sometimes you can't try to be something you're not. You just have to be who you are, and if that works for him, hey, it's gotten him this far. So, I enjoy him. I love his personality. I love his drive, his will to win. Throwing power punches almost every time from weird angles. It's just a very difficult style for anybody to deal with. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on that, and I had Stevenson winning a very boring fight. I don't know what's next for Stevenson. Does this hurt his stock? I think it does for a little bit, but people called Floyd boring. They called Floyd a runner, but they still paid to go to his fights because they wanted to see him lose. And I think, it hurt his stock for a short moment, but it'll be short-lived. Stevenson has to make some changes. Not like completely, but he has to understand that if you want to be, he compares himself to Floyd a lot, which I don't think it's the same. Like, I love Stevenson. He's one of my favorite fighters at the moment. I watched this video from Southpaw TV. Shout out to Southpaw TV, man. You're funny, bro. He's always playing this clip of Stevenson crying, where he in his post interview at the Olympic Games in Rio, Stevenson was crying, man. And Southpaw TV it cracks me up. I love his content. Shout out to you, Southpaw TV. He's always playing this video. He's not a Stevenson fan. Okay, I get it. But this video cracks me up because he's crying, and I'm just giving my opinion, man. I don't know. So only God knows. Maybe Stevenson really was crying, but it just seemed so fake to me. I think he just wanted to follow in Floyd's footsteps so bad, and he even took that moment to try to cry. I feel like he was trying so hard to cry, but I ask people that don't even know nothing about boxing, don't even watch it. I send them the video and I'll be like, hey, tell me, do you think this guy is fake crying or is it real? A few people were kind of confused. They didn't know if he was laughing. They would ask me, is he laughing? And I'm like, no. But the majority of everyone said, yeah, he's faking it, man. To me, that's just corny, bro. Be yourself, be yourself, man. I don't blame no one. A lot of these younger generation of fighters for trying to follow Floyd. They're trying to follow greatness. You can't blame them for that. But, Floyd always says, man, everyone wants to be like Floyd, but they don't want to put in that work. And I totally agree with him, man. It's just, Stevenson's gonna have to make changes, man. If I'm Devin Haney, if I'm Tank, like, if Tank pressures him, man, I just, Tank, for one, he doesn't get credit for his skills. People just, like, kind of recognize his power, but they don't, Tank's got skills, too, behind, he's not just power, he does have skills. He's got speed, he's a patient fighter, he's a good counter puncher, good foot movement when he wants to. He likens himself a lot to Canelo, and I agree with it in some aspects, but in some aspects he has better footwork. There's some things he actually does better than Canelo, in my opinion, but if that fight were to ever happen, I mean, I'm a big fan of Shakur. I just was very disappointed in this performance. I had to make a video about it. And I just wanted to share my thoughts with y'all. Share your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think about his performance? Share your scorecards. Did you think he won the fight? Did you think De Los Santos won the fight? What does Stevenson do from here? So that's all I got for now, guys. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and I'll engage with all my audience in the comment section. So thank you guys, and I'm up to the next one.